Good morning.
How we all doing?
Good.
Well, I don't want my guys over here.
Oh, right in front. In the front row.
So what we talked about yesterday? Coolant.
Issues.
Coolant issues. What was brought up?
The process on how to check the coolant leak.
How to check it?
And what to do if you didn't find no problem at that moment.
Okay, so we discussed that, and today we're going to discuss it further. So, what were some of the things brought up yesterday?
Cold leaks versus hot leaks versus pressure leaks.
That's what you wanted them to bring up.
That's what we should have brought up, I heard, but we didn't. So tell me about cold leaks.
Cold leaks are when the truck is cold and there's no pressure on the system. It will leak, but once it heats up or is pressure tested, the leak stops. So we find no problem.
So how do we find them leaks?
Put the truck in the same situation.
We-
Cold.
We inspected out there in the parking spot, why cold, check the coolant level, look for leaks. If there is signs of leaking, make sure we're locked out, chalked out, and look up under it and see where it's coming from. Then we can start it up, bring it into the shop, make the repair, and test it.
So does everybody agree?
Except for leaving on the ground out in the parking lot. That's against the EPA regulation and all that stuff, isn't it? If you push a test out there, it's going to leak all over the ground.
No, you're going to check it in the lot and see if you
That's what you check out there.
No, I didn't say pressure check it. I did not say you're going
Check
to.
for leaks, okay.
Yeah,
Just
the
do a
physical leak at the moment.
Okay.
Yeah, just do a visual inspection.
Yeah.
If you wanted the pressure test to go and you're going to look for a leak, wouldn't you be prepared for that?
If it was leaking.
So if
You
you're gonna
visually
go all
look,
the way
you
out there-
visually look, okay, never mind. Let's move on.
Move on. Well, let's clarify it.
Yeah.
You
If
did
you're going to
first.
go out there and look and want a pressure test before you move the truck to find a leak, what would you bring out there?
Just a bucket or a sword or something.
So
because
you
the-
wouldn't have a leak
apparently
on the
the
ground
The
then?
leak is already there, so the damage is done. It's already on the ground.
Now,
That's a good point.
what determines that? What point do we see a cold water leak out there on the launch? And what point do we bring that truck in to create a CSI versus letting the station documenting it where it's at and then letting the night shift take care of it?
How bad is it leaked out?
That's what I'm asking you.
That's what I'm
At what
asking you.
point?
How much coolant did we lose?
Well, if the sight glass is still full, but you see it's just a little drip coming off the hose line.
And you're sure it's in cold water or cold?
Yeah.
So are we allowed to have it 6 feet long, 4-inch puddle, right?
That's curious.
Bird ran right into my
So
back.
I would say then, if it's
Let me
only,
give you a scenario. I go out on the launch. So I run my flashlight underneath the truck. I'm just looking at the spot check and everything, and I see a little puddle. Just a little drip. I look underneath there real quick, and I can see from the outside of the truck, it's a hose line. And it's just got one little drip on it, and the truck's been sitting all night, and there's a quarter-size spot on the ground. Do you want me to bring that in for a CSI?
coolant is still,
And it's still full on the side.
full, then I would say no, take a picture of it and we'll address it at night.
Okay. I mean, if I go out there and it's, obviously it's
Correct.
steady, yeah.
Or if there's no coolant in the reservoir, then yes, we can bring it in. So
What?
what?
I'm going to back up a second. If that truck isn't going out on route, because they seen that and they switched it before the driver
Then they
ever
can
got
do
here, then we can put a sorbent under it, put a pan under it, catch it until the morning launches are done, And then can we bring it in, or does it have to be brought in like that?
No, then you can schedule it in as soon as you can.
Okay. Sorry.
No, that makes sense.
So what other ways do we have coolant leaks?
Hose is exploding.
Hoses exploding. How can we prevent that?
Do our PM coolant services on time.
When was the last hose we had that blew or let go?
It's been a month or two. About 2 months. The one on the thermostat housing on the front. I know I've done 2, I don't know how many Steve's done.
So what's the best way to get that done?
Schedule. Be preventative. Proactive. So it's
Proactive instead of reactive. All right, so we'll work on that. What other ways do we have coolant leaks?
Air compressor.
What's a air compressor?
EGR cooling.
How can we find them?
Totally.
Easiest way to find a compressor leak is when it's filled in air, look at your cool down tank and see if you got coolant in it. And hope that didn't make it through the dryer.
Some of them pretty easy to find because they come out of the wet tank.
So everybody agrees with that?
Coming out of the cool down tank.
Depending on the
Steve?
truck.
Yeah, it comes
No,
out of the
pressure
Yeah.
cool down tanks.
Yeah.
So what's another way?
EGR cooler is burning it.
And how can we check for that?
Pull the EGR cooler line in and stuff to see if you have moisture in it.
And what if there's no moisture? And you found a leak nowhere else?
Start looking other places.
What normally causes our EGR failures?
You tell me. What normally causes them?
Air compressor and other situation you're looking for. Gas
Do
regulator.
they leak more hot or cold?
They leak a lot more cold.
A lot more cold.
Yes, sir.
Not hot when they swell up
Must
and
be.
open up more?
No, they seal off.
Kind of like cold water leaks.
So when do we want to check it?
Before
When
it
it's
start
coming
up.
off route?
Before it start up in the morning. Or, yeah, in the morning. We found that works perfect. Cool down at night
So
isn't
that's
enough
something on the
time.
launch then we gotta watch for.
Look for steam, excessive
Look
amount of
for
moisture
in the
coming out of
smell.
exhaust.
Look for the white crusty around the exhaust manifolds and EGR and muffler system. The total exhaust system. Look for the white crusty.
And what do we do if we find it? Let
Depends
it
on
go
how many
out?
spares we have.
Let it go out?
It depends on how many spares we have that day. In reality. Take note of it.
Need to get it in right away, right?
When we get it in, what are we going to do?
What do you mean? What if we know it's an EGR
Yes,
cooler
sir.
leak?
Yes, sir. What are we going to do?
What should we do?
Turn the coolant
Schedule the
system.
work.
Update the EGR cooler if it hasn't been updated and change the engine oil and filter.
Everybody agree? What other leaks can we look for? What other coolant leaks do we have?
Bad radiator caps. Or the wrong pressure on the wrong tank.
Yeah, we change them up pretty regularly.
We also have the fuel pressure.
Fuel pressure, there we go.
Gas regulator.
Fuel pressure.
So how do we check to see if we have fuel pressure causing our coolant leak?
Take the cap off and put a sniffer to it. Seems
Take
to
the
be-
cap off, put a sniffer to it. Everybody agree with that?
Seems to be the quickest, easiest way.
And when's the best way to do that? What's the procedure?
No procedure on that one. Just take the cap off. Well, I mean, you obviously want to take the pressure off at first. Checking hot or cold.
When do we seem to find them?
First thing in the morning.
First thing in the morning.
It's usually when they're already running though. Okay, let's trucks run probably 10 to 12 minutes before you even get into the shop. Bring them into the shop, someone pull it, make sure the caps off, and 5 minutes. So,
And usually when do we see it? What's a good sign to tell you that the gas pressure is leaking?
That's a good sign. That the reservoir, you don't see the coolant in the sight glass. Fire it up and then also you see it. Pushing it down.
Yeah, you don't see the coolant and the hoses swell up.
Usually when you first start it up, doesn't it push most of the coolant out?
After a few minutes, yeah, then it will go and push the coolant out.
So that's something to look for out there on the launches.
There
But if
those,
it's cold, you take the cap off and the pressure.
Something to look into, right?
I found that one.
and that could be the air compressor too.
So I said it's something to look into, that's why.
Yeah, the air compressor won't send off the system.
Air compressor will send off the sniffer. You gotta look at the quantity, the reading on the sniffer due to the makeup of the coolant. You'll always have a beeping on the coolant, whether how fast it is or how much it's picking up.
So to isolate that,
It's going to isolate it, and one of the easiest ways is leave the lid off a few minutes, and you'll notice that your regular sniffer is going to read less. And then if you're determining if it's a compressor or the gas regulator, turn the key on, ignition key into the on position without starting it, and usually within 10 to 30 seconds, you'll get a high reading of gas. That's the easiest way that I've found for that.
Everybody understand that? Any other kind of leaks we can look for?
hydraulic leaks, engine oil leaks.
For coolant.
Oh, so any other kind of leaks?
Our main concern on the engine leaks is if the engine,
Well, for coolant?
yes sir,
No, wherever coolant goes.
where is that at? It's in the motor, in the radiator.
Heater core.
Where else does coolant go?
I don't know.
Talking about the cooling system, right?
Yeah.
Coolant leaks in the cooling system.
Coolant fluid.
That would pretty much cover the cooling system. It goes
It
from
would?
the air system.
Yeah, part of your coolant system is a heating system for other parts. That's what I'm trying to get at.
Heater core.
Heater
Heater
fluid,
valve?
yeah. So that's somewhere else to look for, right? Where would you look for that?
Open the door when it runs out, you know you got it. It happens, believe me, it has
Yes.
happened.
It happened on the
Everybody's
launch.
got all scientific.
Yeah, open the door, it's cool.
Open the door, open the door.
It happened on the launch.
Yeah.
That
Actually,
fire truck, the coolant started running out of the cab.
Well, we got the gas regulator to look for and the lines running back to it. We got the heater lines and stuff that run down into the frame channel. And it's not, our coolant leaks are not just isolated on the engine area.
You still got your fuel heater.
Yes, running back to the gas regulator.
Well, also
Well,
for your
that-
diesel.
and- Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not everything's
fuel.
gas.
That is true.
When we talk about cooling systems, they're kind of specific to the truck, you kind of, that's part of the cooling system, or is it?
It's not just to the engine though. I mean, some of them run almost to the back of the truck now.
Transmission as well.
Yeah.
If the coolant barrel is empty and we're running late on time, why can't I just go out here and put water in it? What's the purpose of having coolant in it
Now
for here? Because
we're
it don't
diluting-
freeze.
We're diluting our coolant.
But coolant is for freezing and it doesn't freeze here. Why can't we
What?
fill them with water?
What about boiling?
Water will boil just like coolant.
At what temperature?
Yeah, it depends on what pressure cap you got on it. Water's 212, coolant's 280.
Depending on your mixture.
Yeah.
If you have less of a mixture, it's gonna boil sooner.
So water's not a good idea.
No.
Okay. Just
I don't recommend water.
Why else?
Why else?
Yeah, why else wouldn't you recommend water?
Because it also corrodes. Why else do you not want water then?
Electrolysis. Which which is the bubbles imploding on the cylinders, creating holes in your liners, which end up locking. And also it erodes out the head gasket where you get cross leaks then.
I would say it's safe to say don't use water.
And antifreeze is a conditioner for your rubber, your aluminum, and your steel.
So what happens if we find someone put water in it?
Take it out. Drain it. Unless you want to deal with all that stuff down the road.
So is there anything else?
Well, we check the coolant on every PM, right?
Yes.
Anything or just the E?
Now, we've had transmission failures because of coolant in the past. Getting into the transmission, we never discussed that, and then we lose the clutches. And that was part of an issue on 885, and when we had McNeely or Allison back out here, because it wouldn't shift, they found the filters, training filters. It didn't have the magnet in it, and the particles had went through the...
Now you're going off on another subject. Yes, if we have coolant in the transmission, how do we identify that? What's the best way to identify that? Anybody?
Trans,
Dipstick.
Look at it, it's probably not right.
All right? We all good? We all agree on it? We all understand it? All right, let's go to work.